about the Super Bowl ratings, and 126 million viewers for the Super Bowl 59. First of all, it's more than that. But it's hard to track how many people actually watch. The Nielsen ratings, they do count out-of-home viewers, but you don't really have an exact count on that. You're kind of guessing at some point. I think it probably was closer to 136 million. And the second thing is this wasn't, let's be totally honest about this, it wasn't a good game. The peak of the rating was in the second quarter. What if it had been an overtime game? Could you get to 130, 35 million? But there's a lot of reasons why I think the NFL keeps extending their season and adding games, because there's an insatiable appetite for it. We never get tired of it. And the other thing is there's a reason they keep playing games now in Australia, and they're going to go to Brazil again, and they're going to go. They won the U.S. market. If you dominate America, spread your wings. So when people complain about games overseas, why not? They own the country. And I think there's a lot of reasons why the NFL is king. It's a once-a-week sport, but that's always been true. But we didn't have the iPhone and TikTok in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We are a very, very distracted nation. It is harder to get people's attention Monday through Friday, and the NFL is a once-a-week game. The second thing is it's a really good television product, not just because I work at Fox. NBC, CBS, ABC are great too, but the production of the television product is outstanding. The other thing, it's relatable. Football players, there is no load management. They play in the snow, they play in the wind, they play in the rain. Like the rest of us, they just go to work when they're not 100%. It's totally relatable. The other thing is they make big changes regularly. They bailed on Oakland. They upgraded to Vegas. They bailed on San Diego. I know it hurts. They upgraded in L.A. They bailed on St. Louis. They'd bail on Jacksonville tomorrow if they could. They're not going to be burdened by tradition. They're not going to worry about what the hardcore traditionalists and the romantics think. They're going to take swings and evolve.
Yeah. No. I think Colin is so on point here. And I really want to offer my perspective on this one, especially because, having this, this YouTube channel, I think has offered me a lot of fascinating perspective. And if you're watching this video, if you watched my other videos and stuff, like, that means obviously you love football too, right? You obviously, if you're gonna watch some random dude like me talking football, talking these shows, like, you obviously have to love football. I don't really think many casual people who kind of watch the games are gonna just be like, yeah, I'll watch this guy on YouTube, right? Because your time is valuable. You could be watching and listening to so many other people, and I'm no thrills and frills. I'm not like comically hilarious. I'm not on some show. So it's like, if you're watching this, it means like you care, you like football, you like some of the things that I have to say, you like the things that Colin has to say, whatever it may be. And football really is king, but it's something that's like easy to say, but I think even harder to actually truly understand. And I just know for me, like, I love sports, obviously, right? I played sports at a pretty competitive level throughout my life. I grew to really love sports talk as well, which I've shared about kind of like my own journey in terms of like, realizing, hey, I actually really love these shows and how important these shows can be in sports as a whole can be in my own life, whether I'm just enjoying life, whether I'm going through tough times in my life, whatever it may be. It's just like sports, all of these conversations, like, they help me get through the day in a lot of ways. Again, even if the day is really positive and nice, it's still like you still feel like you wake up to sports and you go to sleep with sports. It's like it's a bubble that we kind of all float in, like we wake up to Colin Cowherd, we go to sleep to First Things First, and we go to sleep to an actual game itself, to Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, like, right? Like it's how we begin and start our day every day. Like it's pretty cool, and it does really feel like you're part of the community, especially why I wanted this channel so badly, because it does, it's like I'm watching the Super Bowl and I'm thinking of other commenters and other people that I've talked to a lot to be like, are you watching this? Are you seeing this? And like, I can't wait to like have these discussions. And the NFL is just king of that, because he started the show with basketball. First Things First, I'm recording this now after First Things First, and that's why I jumped back to the Herd, because like they're now talking about the Mavs fall to the Kings or whoever, and I'm kind of just like, I don't care right now. Like I'm still in basketball mood, and I love basketball. I have a basketball channel, which I, hope you guys would subscribe to as well, JWL Hoops. And I'm going to make a ton of basketball content, but I'm also going to be honest, like my heart is not in it, at least right now. And again, I love basketball, especially the playoffs. I live for that too. But I feel like there was a time when I would have said, you know what, I enjoy basketball playoffs more than I enjoy the NFL regular season. And I no longer feel that way. There's, especially with this channel, I could see the intensity. I could see the conversations, and they're just so much more interesting and fascinating to me. And this season as a whole has been amazing. And for me, I really appreciate the NFL because I watch all the games, and I watch all these other teams as well. And sure, sometimes I can have a more rooting interest for one team or the other, but I can literally just put on, essentially, if the Jacksonville Jaguars got really hot last season and Trevor Lawrence was having an awesome season, boom, I could become a Jacksonville Jaguars fan in a second. And I could be really like, man, I'd love to see Trevor Lawrence be able to win the Super Bowl, and Doug Peterson. And like, I could find the magic in that story. I really could. I could find the magic in Jaden Daniels having an amazing, historic rookie year. I could find the magic in the Philadelphia Eagles and having Jalen Hurts right there being doubted nonstop, and how this team was filled with players that were doubted and literally rejected. Like, that's awesome to me. And you can go around and around and around and around. And that's what the NFL is just king of. That is the stories themselves, the conversations that we get to have day after day after day. And yes, and I can know just from this channel that, like, during the NFL season, views are already now, definitely on a downward. And everyone knows, that's just what happens with all these shows. It's why you see them go on so many vacations right before the season starts, because it is just, it is a sprint marathon. Like, you are sprinting the entire time for a marathon. So it is crazy. And then things really slow down because basketball just doesn't move the needle like the NFL. And so it makes total sense. But again, also this it makes sense that this was going to be a record viewers, because first off, we have to, and I should have said this a little bit earlier, so hopefully you made it this far in my take, but make no mistake about it, like this set records because it was the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Philadelphia Eagles have an absolute massive fan base. Again, it's not even like a debate, like it's just an actual fact, right? Like, this is an absolute massive, passionate fan base. And the Kansas City Chiefs have a huge fan base as well now, although not as big as the Philadelphia Eagles. They're definitely a smaller market, but obviously they're the dynasty, they're winning these rings and all of that. So you're getting definitely a lot of casual fans. You're getting, unfortunately, the Taylor Swift fans, which we know the NFL wants desperately as well, wrongfully, but they feed into that. You're getting that. Then you're getting people who either want to see the Chiefs make history, which again, they're going to be the more casual fans. Then you're going to see some of the fans that are tuning in to watch the Kansas City Chiefs lose. And then you're going to obviously have the fan base of the Philadelphia Eagles and some of the also casuals that are going to be like, I want the Philadelphia Eagles to win. So like, that's that synergy. So it makes sense that the last 3 Super Bowls, I believe, have been like some of the most popular Super Bowls. 49ers, massive fan base. Kansas City Chiefs, can you stop them? Philadelphia Eagles, I did this wrong. The Philadelphia Eagles were first, 22, massive fan base. Philadelphia Eagles back in the Super Bowl, let's go. Then the 49ers, massive fan base. Then the Philadelphia Eagles again, the revenge, the redemption, Kansas City Chiefs going for 3-peat. Like, that is a thirsty storyline, man. And to say that wasn't a good game, it's just like, I know Colin knows ball, but I just want to say, like, say you don't know ball without saying you don't know ball. That game was exciting. That game was amazing. Again, obviously, if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you're not going to like it. But I really believe, even if you're a casual fan, even if you don't have a true rooting interest in whether who wins or loses, you're just kind of like, hey, I just want to watch a good football game. That was a great football game because it was an absolute avalanche from the Philadelphia Eagles. An avalanche. Like, obviously Philadelphia Eagles fans are going to say it's a great game because you want to see them dominate. But at the same time, I feel like even if you're just a general fan, watching a team just absolutely impose their will and dominate a team and a quarterback and a coaching staff that is so iconic that they're going for the 3-peat, and everyone kept talking about how this is going to be the most amazing historical accomplishment in the history of the NFL, that if Patrick Mahomes wins, he's going to be the GOAT, and then have the Philadelphia Eagles just absolutely dominate him and destroy them and truly make the Kansas City Chiefs look like that they don't even deserve to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, going up 34-0, there is nothing not exciting about that. There is absolutely nothing not exciting about that. I really wish I opened with this, what I'm saying right now, because I just do. But it's just like, because it's just the reality of the situation. I mean, like what are we saying here? You know, watching someone be as amazing and as high performing as a Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Spags, the Chiefs as a whole, and watching the Eagles just absolutely dismantle them. It's one thing if it was fluky. It's one thing if Patrick Mahomes is playing awesome and he's throwing a beautiful ball to Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce is playing great too, but it just so happens that he got the ball punched out, or you know, it was a fluke play where he twists his ankle and now he's off the field, and then now it's a blowout, or Carson Wentz is in. Then I could understand that. You're like, yeah, the Eagles are dominating, but like, you know, doesn't really feel as special. This was one of the greatest, even Nick Wright had to say, this was one of the greatest performances of all time by the Philadelphia Eagles. So if that's not exciting, if literally watching the Philadelphia Eagles have one of the greatest Super Bowl performances in the history of the NFL, going up against a team, the actual literal dynasty of the Kansas City Chiefs, of Patrick Mahomes, of Andy Reid, of legends that the NFL will never forget about. And the Philadelphia Eagles are doing it against that team that are going for the historic three-peat. You're going to tell me that that's not exciting? And watching them just absolutely dominate, that's not exciting? Must have not been exciting if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. But for everyone else, that was exciting. That was like, what are we witnessing right now? Was the Green Bay Packers just unleashing on the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card round not exciting? Of course it was. Of course it was. And this game was exciting too. So come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. What are we doing here, man? Come on. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the, I guess there's actually really two videos here, but two questions here. What do you think about the NFL and their dominance? And what do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles and this apparently not being that exciting of a game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.